everybody. So as you can see, my father Eliyahu is not sitting here right now, and that's because we're trying out something new. Either me or my mother Debbie every week will give a little brief introduction to the portion of the week, and then my father will give the class. So this week's portion is called Behaalotcha, which literally means to raise up. And just a recap of what happens in this portion is the first thing. Aaron is commanded by the Creator. Aaron the high priest is commanded by the Creator to light the menorah, or the candelabra, that was in the tabernacle. And the sages ask, how come this part in the Torah comes right after what came before, which was the gifts that the different leaders of the tribes gave to the inauguration of the tabernacle? And the answer is because every single person who was part of the Israelites got to take part in the inauguration, and the Creator didn't want Aaron to feel bad that he didn't get to take part in the inauguration, so he made the lighting of the candelabra part of the inauguration process. The next topic in this portion is the initiating of the Levites. Now, the Levites were a tribe that were kind of singled out as to be more holy, to be the servants of the Creator in the tabernacle. They did all of the work, and they brought all of the offerings. And the reason that the Levites were chosen was actually, it was originally supposed to be the firstborn males of every family from the entirety of the Israelites, but the problem was there that the firstborns took part in the sin of the golden calf, and they lost their merit to work in the tabernacle. So the Levites, who did not take part in the golden calf, took their place. The next topic is the Korban Pesach, or the Passover offering. And basically, the Israelites were commanded every year to bring an offering in remembrance of their exodus from Egypt, in remembrance of Passover. But this specific year, there were some people who complained to Moses. They said, hey, we didn't get a chance to bring it because we were impure. We had to bury some dead bodies, and when somebody has to bury somebody, they become ritually impure for a certain amount of time. And because of that, they weren't allowed to bring the Passover offering. So they said, that's not fair. We want to take part in this too. So Moses went to the Creator, and the Creator said, you know what? We'll give them another chance a month later, called Pesach Sheni, or second Passover, and that's when they would bring the Passover offering. The Torah then speaks about how the Israelites knew when and where to go throughout the desert. And it's basically the way it worked was, during the day, the tabernacle would have a pillar of cloud surrounding it, and during the night it would be a pillar of fire. And whenever this pillar or this cloud would raise up, that's when the Israelites knew it was the time to go. And they had these special silver trumpets that Moses made. And basically, when it was time to go, they sounded the trumpets, and everybody in the encampment knew that it was time to leave. And then when it came back down, they knew that's where they had to stop for that time. And sometimes it was for only a few days, sometimes it was for years at a time. So the next part is Yitro, or Jethro, who was Moses' father-in-law, actually decides not to continue his journey with the Israelites. He was with them from the time of the giving of the Torah, or from the time of the Ten Commandments. And he decided now was his time to go home. And the reason he went home was to go home to his people and tell them about everything that he saw and convert them. Now, at this point in the actual script of the Torah, there are two letters which are flipped backwards. So it's very unusual for there to be any form of typo in the Torah. And it is just, there's a lot of talk about it amongst the sages. The next thing that happens is that the Israelites complain that all they get to eat is manna. Now, what manna was, basically, it would come in the night, it would come almost in the morning, right after the dew. And they would take it, they would crush it up into flour or something, and they'd make cakes out of it. And that's all they had to eat in the desert. So imagine eating bread for years on end. I think I'd get tired of it too. So they complained, we want meat, we want fish, etc., etc. And the Israelites complained to Moses. Moses went to the Creator and he said, look, all these people do is complain. I can't do this anymore. You gotta help me out here. So the Creator says to Moses, okay, take 70 elders or wise men from the encampment and bring them with you, and I will send my Spirit to rest upon them, and then they will help you lead the people. So that's what they did. They got together, they all started prophesying when the Spirit came down, but there were two people who stayed at home, and still the Spirit came down upon them. And their names were Eldad and Medad. And when Joshua, who was kind of Moses' right-hand man, heard that they were prophesying, even though they weren't there with Moses, he got angry. But Moses told him, I'm not the one who says who's a prophet, who's not. If the Creator gave them prophecy, that means they deserve prophecy. Then the Creator finally answers the Israelites' request for something other than manna, but not in such a good way. He says, fine, you want meat? Here's meat. And then so he sent in a gigantic wind that blew in a swarm of quail that kept coming for an entire month. And the Israelites collected all of this meat, and they ate, and they ate, and they ate. And suddenly the Creator sends this plague to kill all those. Basically, it only killed the people that ate without restraint, that ate gluttonously. And then after that plague was over, Miriam, Moses' sister, and Aaron, Moses' brother, started saying bad things about Moses. They didn't approve that back at the time of the giving of the Torah, of the Ten Commandments, Moses decided to separate from his wife for a little bit longer than the Creator explicitly said to. And even though the Creator was okay with him doing this, they didn't think it was okay, and they started making that known. So basically, the Creator called Moses, Aaron, and Miriam out of the encampment. It's kind of a surreal experience, if you ask me. So he calls them, he says, Aaron and Miriam, how dare you do this? Most prophets, they have to either be in a trance or a dream to get a prophecy from me, but not with Moses. Moses is wide awake, and I speak to him face to face. He's the only one that I've ever done this with, and he's the only one that I will ever do this with. So the Creator basically gave Miriam leprosy, but it wasn't exactly the same type of leprosy that we know today. It was more spiritual type of leprosy. And some of the sages ask, how come Aaron didn't get leprosy as well? And the answer is that in order to judge whether something is leprosy or not, you need one of the priests or the high priest to come and check it. Now, Aaron himself was the high priest. So the Creator didn't want to give Aaron the extra embarrassment of having to have one of his sons check him for something that he was normally supposed to check for. So he gave Miriam leprosy, and she was supposed to be removed from the encampment for a full week. Now, Aaron said, we can't leave her here for a week and keep going. We have to wait for her. And the Creator actually allowed that, and the reason that Miriam merited the Creator allowing the Israelites to wait for her is that when Moses was a baby, he was put in a basket in the river, and Miriam waited to make sure that he was safe. So she followed all along the river as Moses was going down the river, and she made sure that he got to the Pharaoh's palace at the end. So because she waited for Moses, she merited to have the Israelites wait for her. And that is basically the Zohar Behaalotcha. I would now like to introduce to you my father, Eliyahu Jian.
And now we're going to get right into the Zohar and the Ari. So we know that the name of the parasha is Behaalotcha. Behaalotcha. Of course, the biggest question everybody asks, when I say everybody, I mean the commentary, include the Ari, include Rashi. When you light the candle, you say Be'adlikatcha, which means when you light the candle. Here it's written Behaalotcha, as you elevate the candle. And of course, the simple meaning spiritually, if we talk about spiritual life, because, sometimes we read a book just to become more smart intellectually. You become smarter, a little bit better, so you call yourself spiritual. Spirituality has nothing to do with how much Torah you know and how much spirituality you know. The Mishnah in Perkei Avot, the Mishnah in the section of Avot, right? Whoever his wisdom is greater than his action, his wisdom will be cancelled. And whoever his action is greater than his wisdom, his wisdom will be exist. Meaning what? Meaning that if you know more than you do, it's considered like you're not smart and you're not doing anything. But if you do more than you know, then you're going to gain more wisdom. So why is the Mishnah talk about it? Because elevation, when we talk about Behaalotcha, we talk about elevation. What is elevation? When you study Kabbalah, I'm not talking about Kabbalah like motivational Kabbalah, talk about Kabbalah, Talmud, 10 Sfirot Kabbalah. When you study about the Sfirot, there is 10 Sfirot, and Keter is the one which is the closest to the light. So when you elevate yourself to Keter, this is called Behaalotcha, you elevate yourself. Then, the lowest Sfira is Malchut, is this physical kingdom. For that reason, a lot of time people are busy with how they function in this physical universe. And it's not necessarily amazing if you function spiritually well in this universe. The idea is how you become la'alot, how do you elevate yourself. You can't change the physical universe, but you can change yourself. We had a discussion, my kids and me, on the way from pray, and we had a conversation, and I said to them, they asked me, what wonder me? What is the thing that I wonder about, that I have a tough time why people can't understand such a simple concept like that? There's not a lot of things. One of the major one is when I see people shocked who are their kids, who is the wife or the husband, their friend, their partner. People seem like surprised that they end up with the wrong people in their life. Surprise! It's like almost like random. How did we end up with those people? I tell you what, none of you work as a farmer. Today, finally, I talked to a farmer. Finally. I'm so happy to talk to a farmer. She's a farmer from Europe who grew up only raspberry. You ever heard about people only growing up raspberry? Tough job. That's all what they see, raspberry. I never saw a raspberry from the field. Raspberry, field of raspberry. So, a farmer knows one rules. Whatever you work with, cow, goat, chicken, or whatever it is, you can't change that. Meaning, if you get dirty from the cow, chicken, goat, raspberry, that's a place of dirt. After you leave, you take a shower, you dress nice, and you're no longer dirty. Why? Because you elevate yourself above that land. But you can't change the land. The rules of the land is the rules of the land. People many times thinking that spirituality or metaphysical study is how do I change my kingdom. No, metaphysical spiritual study means I'm elevating myself to a place where that chaos don't exist. And for that reason I meet different people. And for that reason I meet different friends. And for that reason I meet a lot of great opportunity. But if I'm in a terrible place and I have expectation to meet great people, that's stupid. You're a victim, you're going to meet the victim. You're a great person, you're going to meet great people. You're a happy person, you're going to meet happy people. Happy people don't meet miserable people. It's not going to have an affinity. Doesn't work together. So when you meet people, you have to ask yourself, some of you are still going on a date. Hey, am I happy today? No, I'm miserable. Okay, don't go on a date. Why? Because miserable.com will meet you. That's who you're going to meet. Nothing better than that. You are miserable.com. Nice to meet you, miserable.com on the other end. Enjoy each other. Because you are not in a good place. You have to meet people who are not in a good place. And 2 years later, you get better, you become spiritual, you elevate yourself to another level. What happened? You're stuck with victim.com next to you, and you don't know what to do. And the idea, what I'm trying to explain here about Behaalotcha, is how we elevating ourselves. What is the thing that we need to do to elevate ourselves to what we call Keter, to crown, to the most elevated place? What is it the person got to do? And we know, those of you who study, again, and hopefully all of you after this class go and start from scratch, the Talmud Eser Sfirot, it's for free, audio, you have all my lecture there. Now it's an app on Apple, it's an app on Google, it's an app on everything. Open the app, close, and start listening to the first class of Talmud Eser Sfirot. And as I explained there, getting closer to the light, meaning you become an act of a sharing person. You're no longer busy with what you're going to get. When you're busy with what you're going to get, you're going down to Malchut. Very simple. Now, what about if you're nice to a lady, open the door for the sake of getting something out of it? It's still receiving. Sharing is truly sharing. Now, nobody knows if you truly share or not besides yourself. Did you open the door to become kind? Or you open the door because you really want to open the door to help the other person to go to the door? Did you offer the chair because you want a person to sit? Or you offer the chair because you want to impress people who are watching you that you are actually offer a seat? There's a lot of things going on in the mind. So in sharing there is mind, verbal, and action. Three things you have to remember. Mind, verbal, and action. If it's only the action, then it's called empty. It's an empty act. Empty act, draw empty people. You're going to end up with fake people in your life. Because you are empty, they're empty. You mean it, you're going to meet the right people. This is why we end up a lot of time with the wrong people, what we call the wrong people. There's no wrong. There is layers. 10 layers of different personality. You're Malchut, you're going to get Malchut. You're Keter, you're going to get Keter. So if you wonder, those of you already married, how did I end up with the wrong person? It's not the wrong person. It's where you have been, or maybe you still are, in that place. That's why you choose that place, that person. Let's say you were in a place that you feel unsafe. What are you going to choose? Somebody who seems like they're going to save you. Am I right? I mean, so that person that you think will save you, fulfill that emptiness that you have at that moment. So when we talk about Aaron, as my son spoke, lighting the candelabra, the menorah, it doesn't use the word lighting, it uses the word Behaalotcha. When we read that section, we need to understand something else. And I'm taking you to a section from, it's called Ta'amei Mitzvot, from the Ari HaKadosh. And the Ari say like this, למה הוא צריך סיפור זה כאן? Also Rashi asked the same question. Why do we need to tell the story of Aaron lighting the menorah here? Why do we even need to talk about it? אך העניין הוא, מה שאנו רואים מדברי משה ומעשה אהרון, היה נראה ששינה אהרון מדברי משה. If we look at what's God, and I want to correct my son, God commanded Moshe to tell Aaron, not Aaron. So basically, God tell Moses to tell Aaron to elevate or to light the candelabra. And היה נראה ששינה אהרון מדברי משה. Moses tell him, God just told me that's the way you're going to light the candelabra. And Aaron didn't do exactly what Moshe said. And for that reason, I don't know if you know that, the verse, it say, God spoke to Moses, tell Aaron, and tell him when you elevated the candle, they should all shine toward the candelabra. Everything has to light, the wick, the flame should all light toward the candelabra. It say, ויעש כן אהרון אל מול פני המנורה העלה נרותיה, כאשר ציווה השם את משה, וזה מעשה מנורה מקשה זהב, כמראה אשר ראה השם את משה, כן עשה את המנורה. It say twice that Aaron did it twice. Why it say Aaron did it twice? For that reason, we need to go to the Ari. כשיעירו שאם מתחלת לקטן, קודם שתהיה שלבת עולה מעליה. So Moses tell him, God say, you're supposed to arrange before you light it, that the wick will be this way, so everything, the flame will go toward the candelabra, because it used to be, many people think the candelabra look like menorah of Hanukkah. No, 7, not 9. Menorah of Hanukkah is the memory for the amount of day it lasts. Candelabra is 7. It's a 7 sfirot. Don't get confused, okay? 7, only 7. So we have 9 because 8 days last the miracle plus 1, which is the shamash. So temple, candelabra, 7. Menorah of Hanukkah is a memory not for the candelabra. It's a memory for the amount of days that it lasts. Versteh? You understand? Good. So it say, אך כשמתחיל ההרע להיאחז בהם, תכף ברגע הוא יהיו פונים הזין נרות אל מול פני המנורה שיהיה קנה אמצעי. So the idea, what is it called candelabra? The middle candle. The middle candle, so you have 3 from this side toward the middle, and 3 from here toward the middle. You know why? I mean, you study Kabbalah, the middle is Malchut. So you have Chesed Gvura Tiferet on this side toward the Malchut, and Netzach Hod Yesod toward the Malchut. לזה לא אמר כתוב יעלו הנרות אלא יאירו. So if you see, it say, ברוכת הנרות מול פני המראה יאירו 7 הנרות. It say when you elevate the candle, and then it say when the candle will be lit. You should say when you light the candle. Why you change the word? First you say elevated, and then you say light, יאירו. So it say that the Ari say, it's so beautiful. בזה מתיישב מה שאמר רש"י, תחילה בעלותך פירוש, כאשר תרצה לעלות להדליק הנרות, קרא בלשון העלאה, לפי שצריך להמתין עד שתהיה שלהבת עולה מאליה. When you light the candle, you have to wait. You have to stay there next to the menorah to see if it's ole, if it's, because what happened to the fire? I mean, this is physics, this is nothing to do with spirituality. Fire go up, hot, something go hot, go up. So you have to wait to see that it's toward the middle candle. And that's why it's called ala'ah. For that reason, say the Ari, it's called elevation, meaning the candle go up. ודיבר הכתוב כפי האמת. הכוונו כאשר תרצה לעלות לעשות דלקת נרות, ייזהר שמן העת שיאירו, תכף יהיו נתים על פני המנורה. זה אמר יאירו ולא אמר יעלו. וזהו כוונת רש"י, ואומרו בעלותך, will translate in a second, שהשלהבת עולה מאליה לראות על הנ"ל. נמצא כי הציווי הזה מול פני המנורה מתחיל מן העת שמתחיל להאיר. So when is the command of God about elevation of the candle and lighting of the candle? Is in the moment that the flame go up. Because only when the flame go up you can tell if that light is toward the middle candle. וזה שנאמר בעלותך נקית להשם העתיד, ככה כל זה הציווי הממתין עד שתהיה שלהבת עולה מעליה. כנ"ל, והנה אהרון לא עשה כן. אהרון was not waiting there to see if everything has been elevated toward the middle candle. זה לא כתוב ויעש כן אהרון. It doesn't say that Aaron did this about that. אל מול פני המנורה, האיר נרותיה. It say, instead of saying Aaron did so, it say, like that Aaron did, he elevate the candle. He elevate the candle, רק העלה. ופירוש כי לא עשה כציווי. Which Aaron didn't do exactly what Moses told by God to do. שיהיו נותנים פני המנורה. רק אחר שהעלה הנרות, מטה לשבת בעיניו, ולא עשה כן מתחילת ההרתה כשזה ציווה משה. So there is 2 mitzvot, 2 concepts. One is to fix the candle before so it will go toward the candelabra. Second mitzvah is to sit and wait and to see that it's actually happening and the light is exactly like God said, have to light toward the middle candle. Say the Ari. ואם כן, היה נראה מזה שכשינה אהרון ממה שאמר לו משה. So it seemed like Aaron a little bit didn't do what Moses told them. It's a problem. לזה צריך הכתוב ויעש כן אהרון. For that reason, it said twice to say Aaron did so. אף על פי שנראה מול פני המנורה אלא נותר ולא הרהיר. Even it seemed that he only light the candle. And he didn't shine. עם כל זה, ויעש כן אהרון קרינן בה. We are reading, Aaron did exactly so, שלא שינה, he didn't change. נמצא כי בחמת שהיינו אומרים ששינה, צריך כתוב לומר שלא שינה. Because if you read it, say, the Ari, you might think that Aaron didn't follow his brother command who came from God. That he came up with his own concept, which were not allowed. On a spiritual journey, you know what makes you close to God? That you want to know what God wants from you. A lot of people use it as an excuse. I don't know what God wants for me. If I only knew what God wants for me, I would do it. I would do it. go tell them God just talked to me. He said you have to sell your house, give it for donation and live in the street. No, God would not say such a thing. No, my God told me something else. People just say, if I only knew what God wanted from me. Everybody want to become a psychic. What kind of psychic they want to be? Psychic, comfortable psychic. Comfortable. What does a comfortable psychic look like? How can I be more comfortable? How can I be more comfortable? anyway, לא עוד אלא בגיד שפרוש אפילו מה ששינה הוא לשבח, כי באמת תחילת הרתן זה היה נוטה אותם אל בלופ לנורם נורא, ומה גם המתין עד אחת שהשאלות עולה מלאה. So what's the reason that we say Aaron was so special? That he was lighting the wick, let it go up, and then he saw he was waiting extra time to make sure it's happening. He was sitting until it's happening by itself. Why? We have to discuss it. I mean, okay, let's say we didn't know about it. We respect that the Ari did it for us. We respect that the Torah is so exact. But I think there is something more for you and me, for us simple people. I mean, we can never be like Moses. I mean, we have to admit, right? We can never be like Aaron. We have to admit that too. We can never be like Miriam. I hope we agree on that. So what's the purpose we study spirituality? We know for sure we can reach that level. There's not even point to try. As the Gemara said, "Arbe asu keRabbi Shimon velo ala beyadam." Many people try to do like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, but never make it. When I say many people, I talk about 2,000 years ago. So why even try? They tell you already, no chance. They know there may be, no chance. No chance. No chance you're going to make it. What are we doing? Well, because we are coming, those of you who know, unfortunately most people don't study the meaning of the essence of what we're doing here in this life. We're coming basically from the dirt, from the lowest of the lowest. So for us, the test is very small. But even that small test, we look at it like a big deal. Somebody come and insult you, you stand up for yourself, right? What happens if somebody tell you, you're so stupid? You don't tell a supporter, said, I'm telling myself the same thing. Nobody answer like that. Nobody. You get angry. Why you get angry? Somebody tell you you're stupid. Don't you think you ever did stupid mistake in your life? You never did one stupid mistake? So he's saying to you that the advice that gave you that stupid mistake is a stupid guy. He's living inside your body. He should say, I told myself the same thing. He doesn't want to live. Stupid advisor. But what do? You're defending that stupid advisor by saying, no, don't talk to me like this. Don't talk to you. Become the me. That wrong part of you is the me now. Can't do that. Don't defend yourself. It's what part of me. I know that I'm stubborn. I know people told me exactly what to do. And even, I broke my arm, I broke my leg and ankle, things go wrong. And I still believe that my path is the right path. Like God spoke to me. Not to Moses, it was me actually, right? People think like that. What is the lesson? The lesson, my friend, when you do your spiritual work, are you adding another part? You sitting there and wait to see what else I can do? Or you do what your job is to do? Unfortunately, in our generation right now, we live in a time where people hardly do their job, and the one who do their job just do their job. People are not sitting and looking around, what can I add to the other person in the room? People are sitting, and what is this room can add to me? You go into spiritual places, include synagogue, the Torah is beautifully there. Oh, holiness. Do you know about pain of everybody who's sitting there? The Ari said, you can't go to a place until you know the pain of everybody. That's what the Israelite as a tribe. You have to feel the pain of the Israelite. We left as slave from Egypt, and we have to see that all the slaves are okay. We're still slave. Nobody broke free. Now there's two types of slavery. Are you slave to God, or you are slave to your little ice cream cake? What are you slave to? You can choose. Can you get out of slavery? No. But you can get out of who is the boss as being a slave. The lesson of the Ari here, my friend, is how good you're doing your job. How good you're doing your job. You want to be Behaalotcha. You want to elevate yourself to the next level. How good you're doing your job. few students came to me online, I'm sure they listened to me, and they asked me, why would we ask you specifically what is that we need to do? And they told me, you look at our hand, palm reading, face, all sfirot, you know exactly what we need to do. Why don't you tell us? I said, answer to one person today. He said, if I tell you, you'll have to do it. But looking at your face, you have not even a desire to want to do it. All your desire is to be so special, to come to me and ask me, so I can tell you that that's what you got to do, and you go home happy just by that I talk to you. I said, do you want that in your life? Or do you want to start doing what I told you to do with no question asked? You would not do it. So if I tell you to do it and you will not do it, that's worse than if I didn't tell you. So I rather don't tell you. I rather don't tell you. What's the purpose of telling you if you're not going to listen? Like this, we can judge you that you didn't know. Everybody's happy. And this is the answer for what the Ari teaches. Somebody tell you, I'm so hungry, can I have a piece of cake? You come back with a piece of cake. Cake, glass of water, glass of tea, napkin, extra piece of cake. There's a lot of missing in that picture. When somebody asks you to receive, you have to think how more you can give. How more you can give. And if you think, I'm doing my duty, you're not a spiritual person, you're a nice person, but you're not a spiritual, don't call yourself a spiritual person. Spiritual people do always more than what they've been asked. You cannot look at the idea of, I did, because the one who asks you never asks you for the totality. It's a hint. Life is a hint. What you do more, it's up to you. Somebody come to the door, ask you for tzedakah, for charity. It's okay. You want to give $1, $5, whatever you decide. You can add a bottle of water, cookie, napkin to dry the hand after, a nice book inside to read it later. You can't think about this mandatory giving. I have to give. God said to give, I'm giving. Then it's dry. When we look at Moses and Aaron as the giant of spirituality, they look at to do more. So they're waiting, am I doing it correctly? They're doubting themselves in a good way. If you don't doubt yourself, you can never be spiritual. People who have no doubt have no place in spirituality. No place. The only people who have chance for spirituality, you doubt. You doubt the situation. In the time of the Talmud, they used to doubt even the precept that come from the Torah. But the purpose was not to remain in uncertainty. The purpose was to doubt what God meant, and by that to be busy with God. So that type of doubts all day long, what is the meaning? But in a positive way. There is people who are just doubting for the sake of being smart. Those people are a waste of time. You know, that doubt, what's your goal with that doubt in the end? You know? So I hope you get the first point here from the Ari, from the Torah, for what Yehuda was saying. It's to get to a place in your spiritual journey when you are looking to do more, looking to do more, looking to do more. You're coming into a kitchen, those of you who are married, you see the wife. You know, sometimes the husband called me on Sundays, I don't know why my wife fight with me, what happened. So what did you do? So I walk into the kitchen on Friday, and she asked me to go buy a bottle of wine. I went and I bought a bottle of wine. And then she screamed at me, how come I forgot to buy the bread? I said to her, you never told me a bread. And she said, that's exactly what I hate about you. He called me. He said, what do you want from me? What did I say? Well, she said wine, I bring wine. Why I have to think extra? Why? And the idea, I said to him, who are you buying the wine for? Second, what is that you want to be in your life? People will only respect you, and God will only respect you, and the universe will look at you different when you're looking for the extra thing to do. Not by putting yourself in a discomfort situation. It's not about not being comfortable. What can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? There's got to be one more thing I can do. Got to be one more thing I can do. And you call, honey, do you have the bread? Do you have this? Do you have that? Because if not, because I want to elevate myself spiritually. I'm not doing it for you, honey, buying the wine. I'm doing it for me because I want to go to the next level. That's Behaalotcha. I want to wait next to the candelabra to see if the flame, what does the flame represent? Us. Ner Hashem Nishmat Adam. The candle of God is a candle. The candle of God is a human. So every human has to be toward the middle, meaning unity. It's all coming into one flame. That's what God tried to teach us, that we have to look for what is the other thing we can do. Because the universe, if you don't see that the universe is in chaos right now, you're blind. Blind. Was one of the great leaders in France in the 1800s say the day that you see some of your friends ruling the government, you know you're in big trouble. You know, the day that you see some of your friends from the neighborhood start going to the government, you know, you have to start to be worried. Meaning that the universe, right, you know those people, you know their attention. You say, oh my God, those people are going to run tax and who's going to die, who's going to stay alive. We have a problem. So we are now in a situation that people want to grab another seat of control instead of grabbing another seat of responsibility or caring. Because in life, there is 3 levels of giving. One level is I give because I've been asked. Second level, this is my responsibility. Who's making cookie for Shabbat? I do. That's your responsibility. Then come the third. The third is the ultimate level. It's called caring. Caring people are calling to see, did you find somebody to make cookie for Shabbat? Did you find somebody to drive you? Do you have enough water? They go extra mile. And once they cannot find one thing to do more, then they say, what's wrong with me? What am I missing? They don't look, what is going on? I missed the opportunity of doing something special. They look inside, if I cannot give more than what exists, I miss something. It's got to be something. It's got to be something. And if there isn't something, I will come up with an idea. I will come up with an idea. Used to be in Lutvak, in the Vilna, during the time of the Vilna Gaon, one of the greatest Rabbanim, everybody has a job. One is the one who bake the bread, one is go and bring the bread from the bakery, everybody brings something. So the youngest rabbi, the rabbi always give him the attention. He chose him to be, but he's a problematic. No use for him. So everybody jealous, why you don't give this young rabbi to do something? So I give him. So he said to him, he looked at him and said to him, you have the toughest job from everybody else. So what's the job? So you have to wash the cup that we use for the wine. And everybody said, that's it, see? Before you have the wine, you wash the cup inside out and you bring it to the rabbi. It's the only job. So he's doing well, a few weeks he's doing well. In the 7 weeks, he's traveling. He's traveling to raise money for the school. And he leave on Saturday night and he coming back Friday just before the Sabbath. He arrived about 20 minutes before, change clothes for Shabbat, do the best he can. And everybody sees that the head rabbi, thousands of people, is waiting. And he asking for him, he's in the end, he's the little guy, little rabbi. And so he give the message, the guy in the end call him. They coming. Said to him, did you wash the cup this Shabbat? Said, oh, no. So why? He said, because I was in a different city, bring money, and I had to do this. I just arrived 20 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago. I would have wished to come then. So he asked him, is that your responsibility? Is that your job? So yes. Do you feel pain? You couldn't do it. See, I didn't think about it. Did you ask somebody else to take the merit of doing it? You know? I gave him all the list. And then that rabbi, by the way, he became the continuation. He became it was his Ilulad this week, the successor. And the idea, what we learned from that, is not how much you do and how many great things you do, is looking internally. Internally, am I looking to do more? And I'm chasing the opportunity to do more. This is Behaalotcha. Now I want to move into another section in the Zohar. And I share it with you on third meal, but it's so much inside my heart that I cannot. I share it about 3 times or 4 times, I think. Share it to a group of Israeli, and now I'm sharing it with you. And it say here, I'm reading it again and again, and every time I'm reading it, I said, this is a tremendous section. In verse 140 in Parashat Behaalotcha Zohar. Rabbi Abba היה יושב לילה אחד ועסק בתורה. Rabbi Abba was sitting one night and studied Torah. Now, of course, why at night? Because the night time, after midnight, this is the time to study. When you study after midnight, you get all the energy. Rabbi Yossi was there, Rabbi Chizkiah, and they have a discussion. כמה הם בני אדם קשי לב? There is people that their heart is really hard. אינם משגיחים דברי עולם ההוא כלום. They don't care about the upper world. And again, the upper world not necessarily after you die, because for some people, olamcha tereh b'chayecha, meaning there is people that while they're living in the physical universe, they still can be in olam haba. They still can be in the spiritual world while they're living in physicality. So why there is people, they're raising a question, why there is people who are not chasing spirituality? I mean, that would be perfect for our generation. How many people are really chasing spirituality? I mean, we're a few seats here that we can fill more people, I think, right? I mean, I don't know how many people are online live now, but it's not that in Hong Kong everybody stopped the what do you call it, millions of people walking, those of you who've been in Hong Kong, and they stop and say, we have to stop, we have to take the 1 hour with Vital now. Eliyahu is going to talk about the portion. Let's stop, 1 hour, just one, and then we go back and we go against the government or whatever it is. So it's not happening. It's not that people like, stop, we have to study our 1 hour. This is our 1 hour. No, it doesn't happen. So Rabbi Abba, with Rabbi Yossi, with Rabbi Chizkiah, why? They ask why people have no awakening spiritually. I mean, you go to Rodeo Drive, right? Rodeo Drive, people are walking around. There is people who are shopping, and there is people watching people who are shopping, and there is people who watch the people who watch the people shopping. You're going to have 3 types. When you're there, you have to ask yourself, who are you? Are you watch the shopper, watch the one who watch the shopper, or you're actually shopping, and then people watching you? That's what they want. This is it, you know? So why people are not there, and hopefully soon when I have a little store, a spiritual store, that's one of my dreams, there, like a little store, you know, and people can come and have awakening of spirituality there too. Why not? Why not? אינם משגיחים בדברי העולם ההוא כלום. Nothing. אמר רבי אבא said there is a reason why they are like this. הרע שבלב. They have a bad heart. Not physical bad heart, not cholesterol. I'm talking about רע mean when a person is selfish. האחוז בכל אברי הגוף עושה להם את זה. When the heart is bad, the entire body is bad. When the heart is bad, the whole body is bad. Why? There is a gentleman named Arthur. I met Arthur because I teach his father for many years. Arthur became very sick. I'm talking about now physical sick. And was dying. I myself brought him a psychiatrist because he started acting crazy. The father asked me to help. I did everything in my power. Go to him, do a Kabbalistic healing with him, everything. The guy screaming and yelling, and also being sick every day, worse and worse. Arthur, genius guy. Problem. Now, stupid people get cured faster. Smart people get cured usually either they don't or it's getting worse because they're smart. So always smart people don't survive a lot of disease because they calculate, the idea of how long they're going to be alive. Stupid people have no idea what's going on. It's the best. It's the best. They have no clue what just hit them, so they stay alive. Ashreti b'mei darech. Shomer peta'im Hashem. It's a God taking care of the one who's dumb. God is taking care of them, but when he's become smart, unfortunately God cannot help you. So say, Ara shebalev. Arthur came up with a solution. What the solution he came? That if he cure his blood, he become cured. He traveled all over Europe to the top doctors in Italy, in Berlin, in Sweden, in London, New York, he's everywhere. And he's fighting with them for 3 years while he's dying. In the end, he proved them wrong. He basically went on a specific diet. I don't know what the name of the diet, but it's some juicing and vegetables. And he was able to make sure that his blood will be healthy. Once he make his blood healthy, organ become healthy, heart become healthy, he become healthy. Now he's running one of the top company for health food. I can tell you after, I don't want to put it on camera, that exists. This is physical. Spiritually talking, what does the heart represent? The heart is also thinking like the brain is thinking. The brain thinking in ruchaniyut, in spirituality. The heart have a mix of physicality and spirituality, and the liver is only physicality. For that reason, the brain is called moach, the heart is lev, and the liver is kaved. When you take the initial of those three words, you get melech, king. But if you let physicality first, emotion second, spiritually third, you get klum, kaf lamed mem. You get nothing. You become nothing. So why is the heart so important? Because the heart balance between the physical and the spiritual. When a person only thinking about physicality, what happened to the heart? The heart become what? A liver. Where do we learn it from? Did the heart become liver? If you remember when God said to Moses, go back to Pharaoh, Ki ani ichbadati et libo. I make his heart a liver. Kaved libo. Kaved mean liver. Lev mean heart. I make how do you make the heart a liver? What is the connection between the heart and liver? Those of you who study biology, there's no connection. Heart is a heart and liver is a liver. It can never be the same. Well, what happens if the heart doesn't give the blood away, just keep the blood and it's all become blood. All those empty room become blood. What is the liver has in it? Blood. The pump give and take. When you just thinking how to use people, even your heart become a kaved. Your heart become a liver too. And when you have 2/3 physicality and 1/3 spirituality, you no longer can be spiritual because you only can think about one thing. What am I getting out of that situation? Many people go to pray. What do they pray for? God, I have too much money. I don't think it belongs to me. Please, let me find people I can give the money away. Nobody talks like this, right? God, I have too much room in my house. Please send me 5 guests so I can let them sleep in my house because I think my house is too big. People pray like this? No. God, I think I have so much time. Please, I only volunteer 50 hours a month. I need more hours. Send me more idea. No. The prayer of people sound like this. God, I don't have enough of that. There is a list. That's how we pray, unfortunately. We're making the heart a kaved, a liver. So the Zohar telling us, יש רעה. זוהי התוקף הרע שבלב שרוצה לשלוט בדברי העולם הזה. When the heart want to control everything in this olam, in this physical universe, that by itself, אינו משגיח בדברי העולם ההוא כלום, and they don't care about spiritual world. Spirituality simply means to give. Don't need to be complicated. You're wearing yarmulke, it doesn't make you spiritual. You could go to Judaica and buy it for $8 or more. Now, do you think that makes it spiritual? Or the beer, it grows by itself. What else? What else? You had something else on the list. Doesn't make you spiritual. Spirituality, in the end of the day, am I sharing? And I'm chasing the sharing? Am I looking to give? I didn't give enough. Oh, something's wrong with me. That's spirituality. You're sitting there like a cucumber with a yarmulke on your head and some tzitzit on your shoulders or some talit wrapping this. And every time I see a different Michigan, I come up with their own idea, right? So lately, my son showed me somebody who wear a talit, all blue. They empty all the Mont Blanc that they have, the ink, and they cover it and they put the old talit inside. So, now I'm doing talit, blue talit. Talit shekulat chelet, meaning I'm a tzaddik. Why are you so busy with the chitzoni? Why are you so busy with the external? Who cares about the external? Why are you so busy? My beard is long. Oh, I'm a great rabbi from, I don't know, from Latvia. Everybody come on the physicality. This doesn't remain in the grave. I don't know if you opened the grave lately after 200 years. You know, the beard somehow. You know about it? Doesn't have what to hold on to. Sorry for the description. There's one thing that remains. One thing. What was your intention? Why did you do a nice thing? Why? Nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can take that away from you. Why did you give food to the poor? Why did you say a nice word to a lady? Those things nobody knows besides yourself. Yes, your tzitzit, nice fabric, good fabric, don't physical. Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag used to say, I can follow people who only look for the physical aspect of the mitzvot. They're only looking for the physical idea of the spiritual act. And the Zohar continue. Lama alev ra? Why is the heart become bad? It say, Ish asher iten lo Elokim osher v'nechasim. Some people get from God gift of money. Does that make them bad? Well, unfortunately, most people who receive money fall into a level that eventually they become bad. Very difficult to handle money. People who have money and stay spiritual are considered the most elevated people. That's why if you meet a rich person who's still spiritual, it's more than any righteous rabbi that you ever met in your life. Rich people who remain spiritual, not rich people who give charity. That's not spirituality. They have money, so they give money. They have food, they give food. Test. Always test. How far they go. How far they go. But those people, you look up to. You look up to. And that's important. כיוון שכתוב איננו חסר נפשו בכל אשר יתהווה, למה לא ישתתנו אלוקים לאכול ממנו? איננו חסר נפשו כלום. מקשיב אל הסוד, there is a secret here, say the Zohar. כל דבריו של שלמה המלך מתלבשים בדברים האלה. King Solomon meant that whenever you receive any gift you have, everybody has a gift. If you don't recognize your gift, you depress. And that I cannot help you. You have to go see a mental doctor who can help you. If you don't see that you have a gift, something is really off. Everybody born with a gift, at least one. Everybody born with a gift. You have to find what it is. You have to find what it is. You look at that gift. That gift is also part of Olam Haba. It's what happened after you die. Same gift. So if you are rich in this world, and you know how to use the money in this world for the sake of sharing, you're building places, you're doing good things. There's many people who are doing wonderful things with the money. And there is people who's, I remember one lecture that I've been, that I had to start laughing in the middle, and the person didn't know why I'm laughing. I was talking about giving and sharing, and the person talked to me about, here for example, he used example of himself. It took me and my wife long time to buy this expensive table for $35,000. It's a piece of art. It's a wonderful thing. You know how long will give us to give that money away for a piece of art like this table. And I'm sitting on the table and I'm teaching. And I'm looking, I start laughing. So what's so funny? I said, there is no sharing in your story. So why? I gave a business to that person, and here I get the table. I said, why don't you give the money and get a small table instead of it? I make his mind like go far. And then we talk after the lecture, and he explained to me about the kind of relationship he has with his wife. This is the sharing they do. They go and they buy thing, and by buying thing, they call it sharing. So if that's the only relationship to sharing that you're doing together as a couple, I don't see how that's gonna last. Those of you who know me, I say it the way it is. So what are you saying? I say, I don't think that will last, because you have nothing between two of you. You're just hiding behind money and just spending, and you start feeling important when people come, oh, this is Rembrandt, this is Picasso, this is that, and you call it sharing. There's nothing but receiving here. I didn't even hear a word of sharing. He was angry, of course. I had to teach him a lesson. It was Friday night. He making a party for Scotch tasting on Friday night. Now I'm keeping Shabbat, so I can go there. It's in a mountain. Mountain, I don't know what you call those, you go up there, 2 hours walk. So I took an Uber. I said to my wife, we're going there, we're going to take a corner, we're going to do the Shabbat. Then we sit with him. He doesn't know nothing from Shabbat, nothing, zero. Sitting there, beautiful view, the whole thing. And then I say, okay, I'm dressing in the sneakers, I change my thing. And I say, we got to go now. And why so early? He said, well, we need to walk. So walk where? I said, walk home. I said, home? From the mountain, you don't walk home. So we walk away. Since that day, that gentleman doesn't stop giving me a respect. And when he want to give it to his worker, speak about sharing, he said, let me talk to you about sharing that not include money in it. And he always mentioned that story. And I was so happy, because I really did it for him. Because I want him to wake up to understand that sharing not always has to do with cash. Sometimes sharing has to do with you doing an act for a person to make them happy and respect them, and you take the effort. The reason I share with you this story is not to talk about myself in the walk. Is to tell you that a lot of time, by the way, he did divorce her, by the way, eventually. Yes, it was a nightmare. Because they're both being selfish. Everybody fed off each other, codependency. They were tearing each other apart. So when I tell you that story, I want you to wake up into the area of where in your life, my friend, you think you're sharing, and where in your life you're ready to be pushed to say, okay, now I'm willing to be pushed to share more. Are you staying in the same place and say, I think I do well with sharing? Or you're in a place that say, I think I do good here. Now, can you please push me into the next level of sharing? If you don't have the second category, please don't call yourself spiritual. You're just doing something to be recognized for. You're buying another piece of art. You're doing another bottle of wine, another piece of bread. That's not sharing. Sharing began when you said, I'm vulnerable, I'm open here. Please tell me what else I need to do. I don't think I do enough. Tell me what to do. But not because you suffer, because you're excited about it. Like Aaron was excited when they light the candelabra. He said, let me now do, and let me wait. So the candle go by itself. Aaron said, who am I to shift the candle toward Malchut? I am a nobody. He was humble. But I will wait here, and if something not work, then I fix it. That's why Aaron he elevated himself to a level where he was looking for more opportunity where he can give. Now, there's another section in this week's parasha. Aaron and Miriam, how can they speak about Moses? What exactly they say? My son say, they mentioned that he left his wife for too long. When it says that Tzipora Isha Kushit, many people translate Isha Kushit, that she was black. Say Rashi, no, she was gorgeous. She was the most beautiful woman. So what's the Lashon Hara? what was exactly the gossiping about Moses? The gossiping was like this. He chose the most beautiful wife and he left her. What kind of example he will give to the rest of the men? Their wife is not as beautiful as Moses' wife. If he can leave his wife who is gorgeous to be spiritual, now what's going to be with the rest of the nation? Everybody will leave their wife. Is that what will be the end of their spirituality? And the idea, when Miriam and Aaron spoke like that, what happened to Miriam? She became Metzorat. She have leprosy, because the word Metzora is the same word as Motzi Shebra. Somebody who give a bad words about somebody else. It's the same letter. And the idea is, why would Miriam do such a thing? We talk about Miriam, we don't talk about regular person. Aaron, Miriam, we don't talk about regular people. Those people, Miriam, Beher Miriam, the well of Miriam is a traveling well. It's not a well that sits in one place. It's the only well in the world that's traveling with the people. The last location of the well that's been located is next to Rabbi Meir Balanes in the Sea of Galilee. That's a tradition by Kabbalists to do either a mikveh there, across from Rabbi Meir Balanes, and other Kabbalists say a different opinion to do the mikveh next to the oldest synagogue from 2,000 years ago. It's in the same location, it's a little bit further. Two locations. That's the argument. But everybody agree, it's in the Sea of Galilee. Now you know why the Israelis drink water all day long. The water comes from there, and it's the water they drink it from. It's kind of interesting. We're from the Sea of Galilee. Aaron, Ananei Kavod. The clouds that kept the Israelites in the desert not to get burned, because of him God created the cloud of honor. Those two people speak Lashon Hara. Those two people spoke better. Come on. I mean, what is going on with the story? What is going on with the story that the Torah mentioned them like that? And it say, what exactly happened after that happened? And actually, I heard it from my teacher. I was with him in Tveria, next to the Sea of Galilee. So I asked him that question. He answered me, I don't know the answer, but that's the only answer I have. I will share it with you. So he said, the reason they sin, so we can discover a new mantra for healing that's called El Na Refanala. El Na Refanala. It's a verse we say every Shabbat. And this verse has only 11 letters. Say the Zohar, why only 11 letters? לא רצה משה להתפלל יותר. Moses didn't want to pray more. משום שעל שלו לא רצה להטריח את המלך יותר. He said because he didn't want to bother the king with something that belonged to him. But it wasn't about him. They spoke bad about him. She's the one who gets sick. What is this to do with it? על כן רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא בעיקרו של משה. Moses say, if it's for me, I rather don't pray. If it's for other, I'm allowed to pray. And so Moses prayed for others, pray. But there is a little bit contradiction here, because you remember when Moses want to go to Israel, it's called Parashat Va'et Hanan. He prayed 515 times. A little bit contradiction. But the way, I never saw it in the book, but the way I look at it, the reason he prayed 550 times, because he know how much God want to give him the privilege to go to Eretz Israel, to go to Israel. And you know that God couldn't do it for him. So he said, I'm going to pray 515 times until God will stop me. So God will see that from my point of view, I want to receive his gift, even I know I cannot receive it. Those of you understand it, good. Those of you don't. I'm going to leave it like it. We're going back here. So El Na Refanala, meaning that Moses say, she's my sister, he's my brother. It's actually for me. I will have more pleasure if they feel good than they will have pleasure. Because they are spiritual people. They accept the decree. They accept of what happened to them. So wherever you want to be closer to God, when you pray for you, wait. Said God, because it's almost like you remind God what you need. It's embarrassing. Always find people who have the same problem than you, like you exactly the same problem, and pray for them. ולעתיד לבוא עתיד הקדוש ברוך הוא לתבוא אל לבונם של ישראל מהעמים יקום שרת ישראל בשמחת ציון. He say all the insult, all the bad time that you went through in your life, in your business and everything, you will get the reward in the end of time. שכתוב ובאו ורננו במרום ציון ואז ובא לציון גואל, like we say every morning, ובא לציון גואל, that eventually the גואל, the redeemer will come to ציון. ברוך השם לעולם אמן ואמן, ימלוך השם לעולם אמן ואמן. So the Zohar end up with this Elna Refanallah as the verse that you can find on the section of Pinchas that we're printing, that has on it Elna Refanallah. That when you say that verse for somebody else, there's nothing more power than that. Why? No, nothing more powerful than this. Because whatever comes from you or through you, stay with you as well. If you pray for somebody else, whatever comes through you, it stay with you, as we know when we study the Sfirot. So hopefully in November, when we're going to go to Israel, I think it's the first time I'm doing a trip during the winter. It's not a winter in Israel, it's never a winter, but it's a little bit nicer. So, when you are there, and it's a little bit empty, it's not like the summer, and you have room to see and to go, of course you're going to feel the energy is different. Because when you touch the Kinneret, you touch the Galilee Sea, when you go there, and you have time to think, you have time to connect, something starts happening to you. It says that as you walk into the land of Israel, but it, of course depends who you're with. It's not enough just to walk. If you walk alone, who you're walking with, what you're bringing with you. It's not enough just to go. So many people go as a tourist to Israel. It's a beautiful place to go. Eat falafel, sabir, Good. It's good, physicality. But if you go with the right group, with the right people, of course you receive something else. You receive lechem min hashamayim. You receive what Yudah spoke about, the manna. What is the manna? Manna is the first two letters of the 5 final letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Man tzapach. Man tzapach. Okay, manna. And what they say, the flavor of the manna, v'ta'amo ketzapichit bidvash. The same letter as the tzapach. Man tzapach. The same letter. They tell you that the manna has within it immortality. It never wear off, your body never wear off. You don't need to go to the doctor from time to time to do those things to make sure that the donut look good again. No, the face stay perfect, shoes stay perfect. You don't need Fendi or Versace shoes. All the shoes that you have, it lasts forever. The skin lasts forever, everything stay young. But once they got the meat, got everything, what does the meat represent? What does this whole thing represent? The food. It represents aging. Aging. You want to be connected to the anti-aging? You got to think about somebody else. How can I think about somebody else? We age. If I look at my face from now and 20 years ago and I see that I age, it's because I'm thinking about myself. Very simple. Once I think about other person, you no longer age. The aging disappears. So B'ezrat Hashem, with this, remind me this lecture, we will be in Israel, those of you who come with me, we will be in Israel, we'll do not just tzaddikim. I don't like to do just grave. I like to do experiential, so you feel the land, the physical land of Israel. Then lecture, and you feel the lecture in Israel. All of it together, combine an energy that it's endless. So B'ezrat Hashem, this week, you look for the opportunity to elevate yourself. Thank you for listening, Yudah. Thank you for helping me tonight. Thank you.